I told her little bits of this. Not as much in detail as I told you, because this thing with killing and stuff, I haven't told anyone, not even my family. And I want this to be secret. As if you, for some reason, if I hear someone mentioning this, you will be gone.
In my last video, we looked at how a variety of Cubecraft staff destroyed the server's reputation with a lot of their former partner ranks. However, a few weeks before all of this went down, one of their moderators began making ominous threats towards many notable players and content creators, including threats of hacking, doxing, and even attempting to send out hitmen to presumably kill them. And so for over 8 months since, a small team of people have been secretly recording every interaction they've had with this person, and have recently reached out to me to help expose them. This is the story of the Order of the Sapphire, the Cubecraft moderator who tried to kill someone. Also, if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing. I'm trying to hit 1k subs by the end of the year, and with the amount of stuff I've got planned for the next few months, you're not going to want to miss anything. Anyways, on with the video. Now, along with being a staff member, Sapphire is also a YouTuber, and has been making videos for over 6 years. He began uploading and streaming Cubecraft specifically in around March of 2022, with his first video being about another YouTuber named Shark donating to him. Shark apparently made a video doing this, which helped boost his channel, although the video doesn't seem to exist anymore. His subscriber count was boosted dramatically towards the end of the year through uploading a ton of YouTube shorts, the most popular of which hitting 14k views. I'm of course talking about the theatrical masterpiece known as Sus Among Us Imposter Taking Over. Along with YouTube, in June of 2023 he became a helper on Cubecraft, becoming a moderator a few months later. It was during this time he became a very well-known member of the community, and began becoming even more active on YouTube than before. But it was in December of 2023 when he began to reveal parts of both his life and personality that showed a slightly different side to him.
No, you said sent an assassin.
In December of 2023, Sapphire broke up with his e-girlfriend, who, for the sake of privacy, I'll just call Jane Doe. This led to him trying to take the extreme measure of taking his own life. However, instead of doing it himself, he tried to hire an assassin or a hitman. He tried to hire a close friend of his, who has also chosen to remain anonymous, so I'll simply just call him John Doe. Despite being offered money to do it, John, being a decent human, declined, stating that he would hate to be the cause of someone's death. Obviously, going through a breakup, even if it was only for a Discord relationship, can be hard, so I'm not trying to judge Sapphire for acting emotionally. However, I think this does show how extreme he's willing to take things when things don't work out for him. Luckily, Sapphire never went through with this plan. However, this isn't the end of Jane's involvement, and I'll get to that later. Whilst he did inform a few people about his attempts of hiring assassins, he did his best to keep it a secret from everyone. And by did his best, I mean he began to threaten anyone he had told that if they were to leak any information, that they would be, quote,
done for.
And that they would be, quote,
gone.
Now this should be pretty obvious, but threatening to hire assassins to kill people is a crime, although the chance of this ever being used to convict him is slim. Along with this, he began to use his connections to a hacking clan he was part of to further threaten anyone considering telling people just how dangerous this man is. Luckily this hacking group he fell out with, but he reportedly tried to use them to kick someone offline because they were causing him to, quote, lose focus in moderation. Unfortunately, this isn't the end of Sapphire's hacker usage, as he also has a group he calls the System, which is an anonymous group of people from all over Europe that he uses to gather information on anyone he needs. One thing I found interesting while researching this video is that they apparently needed someone to fly to New Zealand to try and locate 2 people who were supposed to have died. When asked if he could call about it, he couldn't as he was too busy moderating Cubecraft, which, for all the things I don't like about Sapphire, is some next level moderator dedication. Now, as previously mentioned, in late 2023, Sapphire broke up with his e-girlfriend Jane. When he realised he was getting nowhere with trying to assassinate himself, he switched to the next best option, which was going after Jane in what could probably be considered as an act of revenge. He hired someone who I'll simply call the Doxxer to go after Jane, and it worked. In the months since, Sapphire has also appeared to become regretful of hiring a Doxxer, and has been resentful at the person who did it. This led to an incredible conversation between Sapphire and John, where he asked how exactly he could apologise to Jane for getting her doxxed. Now, I'm aware that Sapphire's state of mind is probably not the greatest, but the fact that he believed that he could try and make up with his ex after deliberately getting her doxxed is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. In many of these messages had between Sapphire and John, he tries to portray himself as a kind man who can do no wrong, whilst constantly doing the exact opposite, and then trying to manipulate people he hurts back to his side. And this isn't the only example. In one of the clips where he threatens to hire hitmen on someone, he then follows it up by going,
"It really means a lot to me that you can hold it, and you're a really nice friend.
He acts as if trying to convince them that because they're such a great person they shouldn't go against him. They're his friend after all, how could they do such a thing? I feel incredibly bad for Jane, as from the patterns of behaviour I've seen from him, I can't imagine spending tons of time with him, let alone apparently falling asleep in Discord calls together. I seriously hope that she can keep as far away from him as possible and that the doxing hasn't affected her in real life. Fast forward to early June, and an appeal is made on Cubecraft's Discord by a user named IUXForce. Now, I'm not aware of what the appeal itself was about, but according to Sapphire himself, Jane had said that she would, quote, leak the chats and get you demoted if you side with the FFA team. It was upon hearing this that Sapphire did the digital equivalent of handing himself in, and supposedly told Cubecraft's staff manager, Captain Gatto, about the various things he did, which led to an immediate demotion. It should be noted that Sapphire has said that he voluntarily left the staff team to work on other projects. That's completely untrue. He may have technically resigned a few hours before his official demotion, but he himself has admitted that he was demoted in private DMs. Whilst initially it looked like this could be the end of Sapphire's involvement in the Cubecraft community, unfortunately the story doesn't end here. Since Sapphire's demotion, there have still been new developments. Continuing on his hatred of the person who doxed Jane, which seemed to have started in January of this year, he contacted John through Cubecraft's message system, stating that he could do 150 small favours in return for making the doxer, quote, quit MC. It's hard to tell exactly what he's implying here, whether it's to DDoS him, hack him, or at worst potentially kill him. Either way, it's clear he still hasn't changed how he chooses to get what he wants. And there is also another potential motivation for this. According to Sapphire, he thought he could potentially get his moderator position back if they were to, quote, disappear. When trying to convince John to get rid of him, he mentions that if the doxer were to disappear, then they would be able to have fun like before. You might be wondering how exactly Sapphire has been allowed to remain unbanned on Cubecraft, and unfortunately, despite Cubecraft taking quick action to remove him from their staff team, they have been, let's just say, disappointing when it comes to taking any further action. On June 28th, a member of the group filed a player safety report on Cubecraft's forums website, which is a different style of reporting to the other ones that's typically used to report like actual crimes. The report detailed many of the things Sapphire has done, along with both images and audio evidence to back every claim. Cubecraft's player safety page states that, quote, anyone found to not be following our community standards and rules could receive a permanent network ban and, where appropriate, have their details handed over to the police. As of the time of writing this paragraph, which is the 4th of August, they still haven't even replied. What the actual f*** is going on here? This man has committed several crimes against people he has found through Cubecraft, and they have done jack to stop his access to anyone involved in Cubecraft. I'd understand if they took a bit of a while responding to people hacking, but the fact they haven't done anything in relation to someone who is purposefully attacking and manipulating their own player base is disgusting. Especially when you consider the fact that this is a server backed by Microsoft, which you would hope means that they would hold themselves to a higher standard, but apparently not. Sapphire himself has admitted to multiple people that his audience of over 2,000 people wouldn't follow him elsewhere if he left Cubecraft, and the fact that he's still able to manipulate and profit off them is horrendous. Cubecraft, if you're watching this video, take action against this man, report his details to the police and get him clear of anything relating to the server. If Cubecraft responds to this, I will leave a pinned comment down below to try and explain in as much detail as I can about what they're doing about it. There are a lot of things that I've discovered about Sapphire in this video that I haven't even mentioned, like for example his TikTok. You see, another online friend of Sapphire sadly passed away and gave him the logout details to her TikTok account, which had over 19,000 followers. Sapphire immediately rebranded it into his own, although from what I can tell, the TikTok account seems to have been deleted. Okay, quick interruption. While editing this, I was actually able to find his TikTok account, and whilst he did rebrand it into his own, he only posted one video on it. So whilst it is a bit odd, it's not at the stage he thought it was, so yeah, sorry about that. I should also mention that whilst researching this, we discovered that he apparently has started drinking a lot, which may explain some of the actions, although obviously it doesn't excuse anything. I think one of the only positive sides I've seen from this is that it shows the people in this community genuinely care. A lot of people who have given me information are putting themselves at risk by doing so, but are willing to do it if it means that people know the truth about him. Whilst researching this video, I found even more things about a ton of staff members, known players, YouTubers, you name it. Depending on what happens after this video is published, I may make a follow-up video to this one, although I doubt anything much will come from it. Also, it should be mentioned that please don't send any hate towards Sapphire, it won't change anything. The only thing I would say is that if you're currently a channel member or a member of his Patreon, don't support this guy financially, he doesn't deserve your money. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As I said, we're trying to hit 1k subs, so feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Or you'll see a news report about my assassination.
I love kids.